Okay, so clearly I need to do a clean out of my yarn stash. Obviously I knew I needed to film this video, but now that I've actually pulled everything out, the situation is far more dire than I had realized. So today we are gonna try and go through all my yarn, clean out the yarn that I don't think I really need or I'm gonna use. I'll probably do a giveaway at the end, so stay tuned for that. And honestly, I think a big reason that my yarn stash has gotten so out of control is because obviously I live in a tiny New York City apartment. I can't have all my yarn on display. And when you can't see all your yarn, it's very easy to forget what yarn you have. So I also want to create a better system to digitize my yarn stash so I can see all of it at once and also reference it when I'm out buying yarn. And it will not come as a shock to y'all that I will be using Milanote for this. It's a tool I use for all my project and pattern planning. They are also kindly sponsoring this video. Now, the best way to show you how Milanote works is to just give you a quick run through of my existing boards. So here under pattern releases, I have a board for every single pattern that I've come out with. And in here, I have like a whole board for mood boarding, inspo photos. I have a board for materials, like different yarn combos that I'm considering. You can see I also have like to-do lists, tasks. I kind of have a brain dump of all my diagrams and measurements while I'm writing the pattern, photos of the finished product, a link to the final YouTube video. And then under planning, I have this project ideas board that I made at the beginning of the calendar year. This is just like a lot of the projects that I wanted to make. You can see I have check marks next to the ones that I've already done. And we do already have a yarn stash board, but it's very much not comprehensive and not super well organized either. So this is what we're going to be kind of revamping. Let me show you how easy it is to make a board though. You just drag it in. We can call this one new yarn stash. And then when you click in, you can see that Milanote actually has hundreds of templates. I really like the mood boarding ones for if you're working on like a specific project. There's also something like a weekly plan if you want it for like a more organizational purpose. If you want to give Milanote a try, you can click the link in my description and use it with no time limit. Right now, this board is like loosely organized by fiber, and I think that is the best way to organize it. So I'm gonna go through quickly and just sort things by kind of like the fiber and weight, because right now it's organized by color, which I don't actually think is the most conducive for me. So here I have just like this little crate of like scrap yarn. I think a lot of it is actually from the sweater that I'm wearing here. Besides this is all like lace weight mohair, so I guess I'll set this aside for now. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and try to pick out all my kind of lace weight mohair. I do also have like variegated ones, like so pretty. It's like a multicolored blue one that I got at Vogue Knitting Live last year. I also have quite a few of these mohairs that aren't quite lace weight. They're like a little bit thicker. I really like these because you can knit with them single strand. So I'll put them in like a pile over here. I think I also need to make a stack for my like light to medium weight alpaca. Most of this is like the Hobbii Divina. Okay, see things like this, I'm pretty sure this is just like an acrylic. I highly doubt I'm ever gonna use this, so this is going in the goodbye pile. I also have some like completely brand new yarn like this. I love the Karen Latte Cakes. This is like the perfect phasing, so it has this really pretty ombre color. But I just feel like yarns like this have a way better home, specifically for someone who's trying to make like a nice sweater or a blanket. I do have a lot of these yarns from Arcane Fiberworks, and they're so stunning, but I think I've kind of realized that like I don't really use variegated fibers like this very often. I like a self-striping yarn where it like really creates stripes, but yarn like this where it kind of just creates like a color pattern wave, it's so pretty, but it's not really the type of thing that I would wear. So this, as much as it like pains me, I think a lot of this is gonna go in my giveaway pile. And I mean, I love their yarn. They were kind enough to gift this to me. And obviously there will be some people who are very, very happy to get their hands on this because their yarn is so gorgeous and a little bit on the pricier end, but I mean, it's because it's really, really nice quality and beautiful colors. This is another really beautiful colorway from them. I think some of this is DK and then like some of it's worsted. This one's a little bit thicker. This is the one colorway from Arcane that I think I want to keep. This is so specific, but it reminds me of the pet parakeet that I had growing up. It was like our first pet. we ended up having a ton of parakeets, and then they got some kind of like bird flu and all 13 of them died within a week. That was kind of traumatizing. But yeah, our first parakeet icy was literally this colorway. And I think this is something that I maybe plausibly would wear. So all of this I'm gonna go ahead and set aside. Okay, we have more lace weight mohair here. By the way, most of my lace weight mohair is either the Kid Silk or the Diablo from Hobbii. The difference is that the Kid Silk is obviously a silk mohair blend. It's a little bit softer, a little bit thinner, and then the Diablo, I would say, is like a tiny bit thicker and a tiny bit fluffier. Oh, this is the Katia Ingenua. I didn't know I had it in this color. It's gonna go in like the slightly thicker mohair pile. I just got this yarn from King Fiber. I do think I have a discount code, so I will put it on screen. This is like part of their new collection. It's their merino floof. It's like a merino, but they kind of somehow brushed it so that it has like a more mohair alpaca texture. I really want to use this, but obviously there's not that much of it and I'm not sure what I would combine it with. Anyway, I will put this with my other like medium weight alpaca type yarns. This I'm gonna say will go in the kind of slightly thicker mohair pile. I actually got this green and this yellow on the same road trip to upstate New York, and I kind of wanted to use them together because I actually really love green and yellow together. This is more acrylic, gonna go in the giveaway pile. Actually, I think some of this is superwash wool that I got from Premier, but either way, I don't think I'm gonna use it. Okay, this is a lot of the Loops and Threads classic cotton. I think I'm gonna give this away. I bought this to crochet like a striped tote, but it is a little bit more of a stiff yarn. Like I wouldn't use this for a wearable. And I feel like I mostly do make wearables. Like I don't make a lot of kind of like structured bags. So unlikely that I would get around to these. This is the gorgeous lace weight mohair that I used to make that beaded poncho. Random bit of my rainbow lace from my filet crochet top. I definitely have a bag of like filet crochet thread somewhere, so I'll just set that aside for now. This, I don't remember what yarn this is. It's from Michaels. It's like a really pretty color and finish, but I don't know. It's again, it's one of the last things I'd reach for, so giveaway. I do really love this Finita yarn. It's a merino wool baby alpaca blend, and it's such a pretty color, but it's really, really thin. I think I'm gonna give this away as well. This is the Mohair Delight. This is what I doubled up and brushed out to make my like fluffy bow bonnet. It definitely is thinner than the Hobbii Divina. I feel like this I usually crochet with a double strand, whereas the Divina, that's what I use to make my Easy Breezy sweater that I also brushed out, the blue and brown one. So this you can use single strand. This one I would say I would knit with single strand. This is the Soft Lash from Hobbii. Really, really thin thread. I held this with a cotton for my like really fluffy shorts. Love this because it's already fluffy, but if you hold this with something else and brush it out, it becomes like super, super fluffy. Oh, we have some more Arcane Fiberworks yarn. Look how pretty this colorway is. I'm so obsessed with the kind of like forest floor vibe, but sadly, I am going to also put this in the giveaway pile. I think this is also the Mohair Delight. Oh, I used this with the kind of like aqua greenish color for my watercolor brushed knit sweater. So that's why I have like some scraps of it. Okay, this yarn I'm kind of on the fence about. It's the Premier Spun Colors. It's like kind of slubby. That's like when the strand is not the same weight. I really, really love their colorways. They work up beautifully. I just feel like they give a much more expensive vibe than they are. Like they come in these huge cakes and they're really affordable. I might have to let these go just because I have this in a few other colors and I think I like the other colorway a little bit more. Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna pick out all the lace weight mohairs because I kind of want to digitize one section at a time and I'm developing too many piles right now. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I got this gorgeous dark blue mohair from 7th Floor Yarn. Also from Vogue Knitting Live last year. Oh, this is the other mohair I've used. This is the Touch Me mohair from We Are Knitters. I would say it's a little bit thicker and fluffier than both of the Hobbii mohairs, but they're not super different. I used all 3 different mohairs for this sweater, and I feel like you can't really see the difference between them. If you look up close, like some of them are slightly thicker and slightly fluffier, but you can definitely use them together. Okay, I think this is the last mohair in this pile. I'm kind of sad about this one. I picked this out. It was pretty expensive too, like 40 bucks for a skein at this yarn store in Chicago. And this is an example of like a yarn looking a little bit different in a skein than it does like once it's wound. I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it's a lot more like black and purple than I realized. I also feel weird about giving it away because it is really cool and I think it'd be fun to challenge myself to make something out of this. I'm gonna keep it for now. Okay, that's all of the lace weight mohair in this like blue, purple, green basket. Let's go through this one next. It literally looks like I'm birthing this yarn, but the straddling stance is kind of the easiest for me. This is also the Katia Ingenua. I like did not realize I had the same yarn in 2 colors, so maybe these would be fun to use together. Anyway, lace weight mohair. I'm losing focus. I honestly thought I was not gonna have that much lace weight mohair in here because I feel like most of it I got for this sweater and was more in the blue-green category, but I actually have like a lot of shades of pink that I kind of forgot about. Oh, I forgot I had this Diablo Wild print. I don't think I would use this colorway. I'm gonna put that in the giveaway pile. Okay, I won't be surprised if there's some mohair in there that I missed, but it will rise to the surface later. This is how much lace weight mohair I have, which I know is kind of ridiculous because this is larger than the size of some people's entire yarn stashes, but this is the yarn that I gravitate towards the most when I shop and when I actually make projects. I like making things like this where it's nice to have a ton of color options, but I think this is the only category of yarn where I'm going to keep most of it. Okay, we are back at the desk to work on digitizing this first section. You can see I actually have my lace weight mohair documented pretty well, and that's because when I was making this sweater, I kind of like color swatched all the colors I had to help me figure out what colors I wanted to use, but there are a few that I'm missing. For example, I have a bunch of this Friends Kid Silk in the color 2 that for some reason isn't in here. So we can go ahead and just pull this product up on the hobby site. And one thing I really love about Milanote is you don't have to copy and paste this image into the board. If you have the web clipper tool, I can just click save right here, click save to yarn stash. And if we go back to Milanote, it will have popped up right here on the right side and we can just go ahead and drag it in. And what's also really nice is that it will go ahead and auto-populate the link so that you can easily like repurchase it or link it later. You can probably tell I really love the color swatch tool. You can just go ahead and double click and then pull this color straight from the product image. And then for yarns like this where I either lost the label or it's from a local dyer who might not have listings on their website, I can very easily just snap a photo on my phone. I usually like to do it against like a blank wall like this. And then I can open the Milanote app, upload directly from my camera roll. And then if we go back to desktop, you will see this little phone icon pop up and we can just go ahead and drag this image straight into the board. And then once again, we are whipping out my favorite color swatch tool. I especially like to use it for these multicolored yarns. So you can see we've captured this like black, the kind of purplish color, the light blue, and there's also like very subtle tiny bits of like a goldish brown. Okay, I think I've added everything. And then just to add like a little title for this lace weight mohair section, this is just me being silly and whimsical, but I'm gonna pull in a sketch because you actually can draw directly into Milanote. And since I have a touchscreen laptop, I can just use my little pen, pick a pretty color, and just write lace weight, very questionable cursive. And look how cute that is. I have my column for my kind of like variegated yarns. This column is all of my We Are Knitters Touch Me mohair. This column is all of my Hobby Kit Silk. And this column is all of my Diablo yarn from Hobbii. Maybe this is just the double Virgo in me talking, but like this is so satisfying to look at. The mobile version also syncs perfectly with the desktop version. So now if I'm out like buying mohair, for example, and I want to see what colors I have, it's literally so easy to reference. Now I already pulled out a lot of my kind of like light to medium weight mohair and alpaca. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig out the rest of it. I think I'm also gonna try and set aside my wool and my cotton. So for example, I mean, this isn't cotton, this is actually polyamide. But I got this from Circulo and it's supposed to be really, really good for making like bikinis and more kind of like summer beachwear. I don't know, I got all these fun colors to try and make a little top and then I kind of forgot about it. This is another yarn that Circulo sent me. I think I have 2 of these and this is so fun and so pretty, but y'all know I would never wear something like this, so this might have to go in the giveaway pile. This, I think, is a merino wool blend. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in like a wool pile. The red boucle that I used for that pink and red striped sweater, I'm gonna make like a boucle pile. I don't know, I know that sounds weird, but it's very separate in my mind. I also have this like cream boucle that I just picked up in Vietnam. Some more colors of this soft lash. I'm gonna go ahead and put it with the blue one. Oh my gosh, I have so much of this Winter Glow Solid in pink because I wanted to knit the spiky tee from Ronti Studios. I literally bought the pattern. It was like one of the first things I put on my project ideas board for 2025 and I just haven't gotten around to it, but I mean, I guess I'll put this in my wool pile. More yellow cotton from Circulo. I think this was the first package they sent me, like the multicolored polyamide I picked myself. These they just sent because y'all know I would not pick this, so giveaway pile. This is the Hobbii Jade yarn. This is technically 100% acrylic, but I think I'm gonna put it with my like light to medium weight mohair because it honestly looks and feels very similar. This is the other color of the Premier Spun colors that I was saying I like better. I do really want to knit this just into like a loose sweater. I guess I'll put it in the wool pile. I do think it's like an acrylic wool blend. Another Circulo yarn. Look how fun this colorway is. Again, when would I ever use it? It's kind of giving Flaming Hot Cheeto. Giveaway pile. This is making it seem like I don't love Circulo yarn. I actually really, really do. I just don't ride for orange like that. Ooh, this is another color of soft lash I forgot I had. It's like more of a tan. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is one of my like souvenir splurge yarns. It's the Manos del Uruguay Alegria. It's a superwash merino polyamide blend. It is so insanely soft. The color really reminds me of like a koi fish. I have no idea what to do with it. I'm so obsessed with it, but yeah, this will go in the wool pile. I have no idea where this came from. It's like more of a thread than a yarn. So I'll put this in the giveaway pile. Honestly, a really nice wool. This is what I used for like a bunch of the balaclavas I made and that little like granny square diagonal cutout top. It's not the softest, I'm not gonna lie, so I just don't think it's great for wearables. Okay, here's the Circulo yarn that I do love and that I think I picked out myself. This is a cotton in a kind of like rusty burnt orange color and it's a little bit thicker. I would compare it to maybe like the Hobbii Friends Cotton 8.6 or 8.8. So I think this would be cool for a more like structured piece. I've been seeing a lot of almost like tassel, open knotted kind of skirts that people are wearing over jeans and I think this would be really cool for that. Oh my gosh, I forgot I bought this. This is from Asylum Fibers. It's their Tennessee Whiskey Luxe DK. I think I got this because I was trying to not buy a bunch of lace weight mohair, but I also like don't actually use DK wool that often. Ooh, another really pretty Circulo yarn. I actually have 2 skeins of this. I started using one of them to knit something and it's been abandoned in my whip pile, but I am like obsessed with this kind of bluish gray yellow colorway, so throwing this in the cotton pile. Oh, another really nice yarn that King Fiber sent me. Ultrafine South American Merino. It is so insanely soft. They really have like the nicest quality, softest yarns. But again, like really, really thin yarns like this, I don't know if I see myself using, nor do I see myself using this colorway, but the material is so nice. I'm gonna hold on to this for now. This is a Circulo yarn called Aloe Vera. The thing is it's worsted, so it's like a bit thicker than I would ever really use, even though I like the color, so I'll probably give this away. Oh my gosh, a follower actually sent me this yarn. Her name is Macy Jane. She hand dyes her yarn. This is a merino DK. So cute, pink, fluffy. I really need to find a use for this. I have so much random black cotton. I mean, these are both the cotton from We Are Knitters. I'm not gonna lie, these are not my favorite. They are very prone to like separating. I don't mind them for knitting, but I really don't like them for crocheting because it's like so easy for the hook to like not pick up the full strand, you know? But I do have a lot of it. Is this also the same cotton? I literally can't tell. I guess I'll keep this though because every project I make, I always say I wish I made it in black, so I think it's nice to have some black yarn. This is probably acrylic. I'm just gonna give that away. I swear I'm not an acrylic hater, guys, but if it's an acrylic that just looks like acrylic, like I don't really have a reason to keep it. Wow, how much of this black cotton did I get? This is actually a really fun yarn that I got from Michael's. My sister actually uses these to make really cute amigurumi, but it's just not something that like I would ever use, so giveaway. Okay, this is the wave wool from We Are Knitters. Such a cool yarn, like very slubby, uneven thickness, and this kind of like cream pink gray color combo is very interesting. The only reason I think about holding on to it is because for a long time I wanted to make one of those kind of like crazy knit sweaters that use a combination of like really thick and really thin yarns, almost kind of like scrap yarn vibes, and I think this would be perfect for that. I'm gonna hold on to it for now. This is the last color of the soft lash that I have. It's just like really cute pink. I think I'm gonna make like a bonnet or some kind of accessory with this for winter. This is actually a really cool yarn from Circulo. It has like a very interesting texture, but I don't need more black cotton, so giving this away. Ugh, okay, I bought this myself when I was in Mexico City just because it was like a completely recycled yarn and I thought like the color and the kind of like texture was so cool, but I really don't see myself using this. I think I got 2 of them too. I'll put this in the giveaway pile and I hope someone makes something really cool out of it. I have this loops and threads silky soft bamboo in these 2 colors. I think because I wanted to make like a red and white striped short, which I did end up doing, but I used the hobbii cotton instead because this red ended up being a little bit more like, I don't know, purplish wine-ish when I wanted like more of a true red. I feel like it's too obviously different from my other cottons, so I'm gonna put this in the giveaway pile. These are really nice though, like really, really soft for my Michael's shoppers. Circulo also sent me this Anne yarn. This is also a cotton, but I don't really like that you can see the like 2-ply of it. So even though it's a nice neutral, I'll probably give these away. I completely forgot about these yarns. I got these in Mexico City as well. I already used up most of this kind of sequined one to make like a armor balaclava type thing for my friend Meg. I haven't yet used this one, which is like a black and silver kind of sequined yarn. This is really cool. I'll just leave it in my cotton pile for now. I think I'll give this away because it's like not really enough to make anything. This is some Knit Note merino wool. So soft. And this is actually, I'm gonna hold on to this because I think I could pair it with my merino light from Hobbii. They're like a pretty similar weight. This is another yarn from my follower Macy Jane, and as much as I love it, it's this like beautiful, I think, yeah, merino wool. The pink and the green, y'all know I'm never gonna wear anything in this color scheme, so I will sadly put this in the giveaway pile, but I'm sure this will find a very happy home with someone who loves color a little bit more. 2 other really gorgeous king fiber yarns that they sent me. If it seems like I don't have plans for any of these, it's because I just like picked some random ones. I didn't choose them. This is another South American merino, and then this is a merino fingering, kind of like a rainbow-ish colorway. I'm gonna hold on to this one, but these colors aren't really speaking to me, so very, very nice giveaway item. And then I need some ideas for this. I picked up this gorgeous yarn from Katia. It's the Soho alpaca. I just like love the gray with the little hints of pink and purple. I have 2 of them. I wish I bought enough for like a full sweater. I actually would love a sweater like this, but the yarn would have cost me like $3 bajillion. So I need to figure out something I can make with only 2 balls of it. And that is one of these bad boys emptied out. Okay, once we finish going through the second underbed storage, I think that'll be all of our wool and like thicker mohairs and alpacas, so we can go ahead and catalog those. Oh, I do have these Bernat blanket yarns. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember how these came into my possession because I don't know what I would use these for. I don't make blankets, but it's going in the giveaway bag. Oh my gosh, this Merino Bossa Nova from Circulo is So pretty. Look at these colors. I definitely want to hold on to this. I have two big thingies of this circular cotton. It's like this cotton that has some gold fleck in it. You know, I make a lot of like cream cotton projects in the summer. Like I made that bachelorette dress for Emily, obviously the flower dress that's on Bartholomew. And I thought the little gold was like a fun touch, but they take up a lot of space. This is a yarn that I got in Korea that actually was like really high on my list of things I wanted to use up this winter. I guess it's not too late. I like it because it's like a fuzzy yarn, but it's actually pretty thick. I would say it's more of like a lightweight versus a lot of fuzzy yarns are kind of like a thread, like the soft lash. So I don't have to hold this with anything. I can use it on its own. I think striping this with like a lace weight mohair would be a really cool contrast in textures for a sweater. This is leftover from one of those like really chunky sweaters that I made with the We Are Knitters kit. It's so thick. I don't know what I would use this for. Giveaway. This Metallico yarn from Hobbii, I've never actually used, but look how cool the finish is. I mean, I'm gonna give it away because, yeah, I don't know what to do with it, but they have other colors too. This is a really pretty thin, I think merino wool. It's actually such a cool color combo, but again, with like really thin yarns that aren't mohair, I don't know. I'll give this away because I don't see myself reaching for it. I forgot I got this in Mexico City just because I was like, this is so crazy. It's like, I think a vintage Katia yarn called Arena. Look at what one strand looks like. In my mind, I was gonna make it into some like really camp kind of swamp monster headpiece, but I'm gonna put it in the giveaway. I don't know. I like to buy like really bizarre yarn when I'm traveling, almost as a souvenir, and then I have so many ideas for it, and then I get home and I'm like, what? Why did I buy this? Okay, speaking of yarns that I randomly bought while traveling, these are all yarns that I got on my Vietnam trip last year, none of which I've used. This is the Xiao Keai yarn from China, and it's definitely meant for amigurumi primarily. It's like very soft and plushy. I'm thinking about holding on to it because I think it would be cute for my bonnet pattern, but I've literally already made like a blue fuzzy bonnet. I don't know, I'm gonna put it in the giveaway because I think someone could make a really cute little stuffed animal out of this. This yarn though I'm gonna keep. It's just like really cool Grinch colored yarn, and this is like the definition of a fuzzy thread. It is so thin. I need to hold this with something, but I obviously don't have like a Grinch colored yarn to hold this with. I'm just gonna keep it like with my soft lash yarn. Let's go sit back down at the computer and log all of this. So if you look in the board, you can see we have moved all our mohairs to the top left. We have our lace weight mohairs, one column of fine mohair, one column of DK, and then one column of our medium mohair. Obviously not all of this is mohair, like some of it's alpaca, but I just kind of use that as a blanket term. And then it's time for us to start on the wool. Some of this is already in here. For example, this fuzzy yarn from Korea, you can see is already over here. And then I did swatch all of my Arcane Fiberworks yarn. Sadly, we are going to delete this column since I'm giving away my other colorways. Down here, I have the 3 different colorways of the spun colors that I had. This top one, the mallard, is so nice, but I only kept this bottom one so we can move this over. Since I have a lot of these random like king fiber and circular yarns, I'm gonna go ahead and check on their sites to try to pull all these in. Well, the sun is already setting and I have had to put my bangs in my bang prison, aka this roller, because they're not cooperating. Just generally don't look at how they look in this video because I didn't really style them. Anyways, we have finished logging the rest of our mohair and wools. Our merino light, this is a really thin merino. That's what I used for my blue and brown striped polo that I knit. And then we have our solid wools, our variegated wools, only one chunky yarn. I really don't use like super chunky yarn very often. And then we have our bouclés and these kind of like fuzzy threads. And what's interesting about looking at this is you can really tell what colors you gravitate towards and what colors you're kind of missing. So I clearly really like blues, greens, earth tones, like a pale pink, but I have no purple, and I famously am kind of a purple hater. But the thing is, there are actually a lot of color combos that I like using purple. Like I feel like I look too much at individual shades and whether I like them and not whether they will make a combo that I like. Speaking of color combos, my roommate got me this book for my birthday. This is a really good gift idea for any fiber artists in your life. It's a Japanese dictionary of color combinations. So you have different combos of like 2 colors, you have different combos of 3, and then of course you have combos of 4. And I really struggle with this. Like the color combination for this sweater, I basically plagiarized from an inspo photo because I would never think to put these colors together. And the color swatches on Milanote make it really easy for me to find color combos I like and try and recreate them. And maybe my favorite feature, there's an index of colors at the back. So let's say I have a yarn and I don't know what to combine it with. I can go here and then it will tell me all the page numbers for the different color combos that that color is in. Last thing that I really love the color swatches for is if I need to match colors. So say for example, like this soft lash yarn, because it's a really thin thread, I kind of have to hold it with another strand for structure. I can look at the color swatch of this pale yellow and see what matches, and you can immediately see that this is like almost an exact color match for this yellow wool mohair blend. So I probably will hold those two together. I also like looking at this organized by fiber because it tells me a lot about what yarns I gravitate towards. So obviously like mohairs, alpacas, anything fuzzy, but also now I get why I don't really use my wools because I really don't have a lot. So now when I buy new wool, I can keep in mind, I either need to buy enough of this color to make an entire wearable, or I need to buy a color that will pair well with the ones that I already have. We're almost done. Before the sun sets, I need to get through our cotton and t-shirt yarn, which might not sound like a lot, but trust me, it's actually a lot. Now, I'm about to show you an ungodly amount of t-shirt yarn, and you're probably like, what is going on? Why do you have so much? Basically, I made Loose Ends bag patterns, those really cute kind of like chunky t-shirt yarn bags. Loose Ends actually ended up launching their own yarn brand. So he sent me some of this t-shirt yarn, which I'm really excited to use. Because when I first tried to make the bag pattern, I used this Friends ribbon, but it's more of a flat yarn than like a round one. So it still worked, but I don't think it was as easy to work with. But Hobbii got really excited that I was like driving sales for that yarn. So then they like gave me a ton. They also ended up launching an actual t-shirt yarn brand made from like recycled cotton, and it's called Tesudo. It comes in like color lots. It's kind of hard to explain. You can't buy specific shades. You just choose from like a color range. And so I feel like I picked too many because I didn't feel confident about what I was gonna get. So I just need to pick my favorite colors. I have 2 of this bright blue from Loose Ends that I'm definitely keeping. I definitely want to keep black, but just enough to make maybe like 1 bag. I still have a little bit of red left. Might put this in the giveaway just because I've already made a red dust bag for myself, and my roommate made a red dust bag, and then I made a red dust bag for my friends. There's just a lot of red dusk bags that have already, you know, come into this world. I also got this blue shade of Friends ribbon. My friend used some of it already, so I'm kind of tempted to give it away just because I think what's left is not enough to make like a large bag. I like sized up the dust bag pattern slightly. I just don't think I'd have a use for like the original size. I made it like 1.5 times bigger just so it holds more stuff. And then I have some of this pale yellow Friends ribbon. Here's the thing. Loose Ends actually sent me a pale yellow yarn, and I would rather use their pale yellow yarn. A, because I like the color better. It's a little bit less saturated. They're looking the exact same on camera, but also because I think the fact that it's a real t-shirt yarn will just be easier to work with than like a flat yarn. Over here, oh, we already have some black t-shirt yarn that I started using. I have 2 of this pink from Loose Ends. I'm gonna hold on to this because I just really love pale pink bags. And I kind of want to make myself a pale pink dust bag. I think I would carry that more than the red one I have. I have this kind of heather gray t-shirt yarn, which I actually think would be really cool for a bag, but I don't really wear gray, so this can find a new home. And here we have 2 other shades of gray. This is like a dark gray, and this is kind of a medium one. I feel like I picked from that color lot just because I wanted the black, and I didn't really need the grays. Why is there more heather gray? Oh my gosh. I don't even remember having these tubs of yarn. Ooh, I do want to keep this though. It's kind of like a midnight blue. I think that is so pretty and would pair really well with like dark denim. Oh god. Okay, I have 2 more of the midnight blue. These I don't think I need. If I have 2 for myself, that's enough. And I think that's all the t-shirt yarn. Wow, I feel amazing about how much space I know that emptied up. Okay, I had a duffel bag of cotton in my closet, and I went ahead and organized everything so that like the same yarn is in the same bag. I'm definitely gonna keep this blue. This is the one I use for like my diagonal cutout top. Really, really love it. And I also have a 10 pack of black, which I think is good to hold on to because, again, I love black. This is like a random thing of cream cottons, different weights, different shades. I do have a 10 pack of the Friends Cotton 84 in this like lighter cream color and in this tan color. Oh wait, I have like another half bag of both those shades. Okay, I don't need all of this. I think 10 of each of these is enough, so the half bags I can go ahead and give away. Also, if you're wondering why I have so much, it's because hobbii accidentally sent some yarn to my old apartment, so then I reordered it to my new apartment. But then I didn't realize that my roommate who was still in my old apartment is holding on to the yarn for me, so I just had like double the amount. Same thing with this insane amount of red yarn. This really bright red Cotton 84 I actually have some plans for. I don't know why I have all this red Cotton 86. I think this can go. These plastic tubs, no idea where they came from, but they're actually quite good for storing this. Okay, I also have this like random bag of different colored cottons. I think I need to get rid of some of these because like, I don't know why I have this color, but I can't imagine a world in which I use it. This blue is left over from that camp collar shirt I made for George for Coachella. I'm gonna hold on to the green for the same reason. I think like a little pop of green with cream is a really fun combo. But this orange and like all these kind of magenta adjacent colors, I'm just like not really feeling. This is leftover cotton from that dress I crocheted in Bali. I don't think I'm gonna use this again. I have a little bit of this kind of like, I don't know, taupish color. I'm gonna hold on to this. I don't know when, but I feel like I could have some use for it. And this like dusty pink I'll keep. I like this color. Okay, and there's a second tub. I have a random empty hobbii bag here that I can put all my filet crochet kind of lace thread yarn in. So I have the dark green I used for my first Lily Lace top, the cream I used for my second Lily Lace top, black, and this kind of like wine color. I just got these for any filet crochet products in the future. I really like these colors. And this is the Aunt Lydia's crochet thread in this kind of pale green. I just picked this up when I was at Michael's. It's pretty comparable to the rainbow lace. I find it's a little bit less soft on the skin, but I wanted to make like a little hat out of this, so I don't think it really matters. And oh my gosh, I think this is the last bag that we have to go through. I have this random bag of like We Are Knitters cotton. Some of it's this sparkling cotton, which is really fun, but the thing is it is a little bit scratchy. So it would have to be some sort of more like outerwear layering piece. Actually, this would be really cute for a poncho. I'm gonna hold on to these, but I also got this Egyptian cotton. This is what I used to make the like Loopy Studios kind of blob top. And I complained about this in the video and I shall complain about it still now. It splits so easily. I mean, I think it would work okay for knitting, but I honestly don't knit cotton very often. I think I would just rather stick with the hobbii Friends cotton, which I know works well for me. So I think I'm gonna give away all of this. Oh, I totally forgot. I got this bamboo lace. It's like literally a lace weight bamboo yarn. It is so soft, but what would I ever use this for? It is so thin. I'm gonna throw this in here. I'm sure someone will have a use for this. I have the bamboo lace in a white, which is actually really pretty. I might hold on to this. I could see myself using this color, but the navy blue I don't think I need. Let me just throw all of this bamboo lace in with my filet crochet thread. I feel like it's kind of the same category. Oh my gosh, guys, look at the amount of yarn I cleared out. This literally is like, I don't know, 75 pounds, plus this huge bag of t-shirt yarn. I really need to figure out what I'm gonna do with all that. I obviously cannot afford to do shipped giveaways for all of it, but comment down below what yarn from the ones I said I was giving away that you really, really want, and I will pick a few winners. I am gonna leave it US only, just because the US girlies are suffering because of the tariffs, and so I just wanna give the people domestically some yarn that might cost a lot more to ship now. And to my New York City folk, I don't know, let me know if you're interested in this. And if I've already planned it by now, I'll put the details on screen. I'm thinking about doing a little like knitting circle meetup type of thing where I also just bring a bunch of this yarn and sell it for super, super cheap. I don't want to like donate it. Like I want to make sure it all goes to a good home because a lot of it is like really, really nice yarn. Okay, in the interest of me not outroing this video in pitch black darkness, I have not done the color swatches yet for the cotton, but you can see we've added our new columns. We have lace thread. Under here I have all my like super, super thin yarns that I would use for filet crochet, like doilies, that kind of stuff. Then I have my super fine yarn, which is literally just a bunch of different shades of the France Con 8-4. This is like a little bit thicker. And then we have our sparkly yarns. And then we have our nylon yarns. I actually did just look up this seaside yarn from Circulo. It doesn't absorb water, so it is really, really good for things that you want to actually like wear in the water and then come out and have it dry. Y'all are probably thinking I have like a crazy overconsumption problem. A lot of yarn brands do just like send me gifting. I don't always have the opportunity to choose what I get. And given how expensive yarn can be, trust me, I'm very grateful for that. I don't really worry about like waste like I sometimes do with clothing, where if you don't wear it, you just like donate it and it might end up in a landfill. Like all my yarn, I make sure it finds a new home, and I have so many friends who crochet and knit. It's not hard for me to find someone who wants it. Speaking of my friends, I forgot to mention, another really great thing about Milanote is that it's collaborative. So I can send a link to this board, and then my friends can see what yarn I have and be like, oh my gosh, can I use this for my next project? Yes, my friends do have access to my yarn stash. They're very lucky. Or once I start planning projects in this board, my friends can like also hop in, drop in inspo ideas. And I kind of want to give you an idea of how this is just a starting point, and I also use Milanote to plan my projects. So if we go to my crochet and knit inspo Pinterest board, if you're not following this, you're kind of missing out. I really be cooking here. For example, this sweater, it kind of reminds me of my watercolor brushed sweater. Actually, it's just a different silhouette. Use the web clipper tool to just pull it into Yarn Stash. I can quickly use the color swatch tool to pick out the yarn colors that whoever made this sweater used. So what's really cool that this creator did here is they have this more kind of like lime green color, and then this more, I don't know, like aqua green color. And there's like a very thin stripe of like a cream or a white that I think gives definition between two colors that might not be that different. And if we just take this and drag this up next to all the mohairs that I have, you can tell I have this like kind of lime green color that's pretty similar to what they have there. This kind of aqua green color that's pretty similar. And then of course I have this cream color. And then I can look at this and say, okay, I can basically recreate this using the colors I already have. Or I can scroll through my yarn and say like, do I have two different shades of a similar color that I can then separate with a contrasting color? Another example, I really love this like filet crochet kind of waist wraparound thing that I saw on Pinterest. So I can go ahead and save this to my yarn stash board. And then I can scroll down this lace thread column and say, do I want to make this piece out of any of the yarns that I do have? Because obviously I don't have a really bright red. I just feel like this board kills so many birds with one stone for me. Obviously I can see everything I have. It's a lot easier to leverage the yarn I do have to come up with ideas for projects instead of like seeing an inspo photo and then buying yarn specifically for that. I just feel like Milanote brings organization to my otherwise very chaotic life. And I like that it's still very like free form and feels designed for creatives. I found with other organization systems, it requires so many steps that it like isn't even sustainable. Whereas with this, I actually think it's like really, really fun to add new yarn to the board and do the color swatch and add it in like the right column. Like it almost feels like, this is gonna niche reference, but when you're in like an RPG and you have like a little bag, and when you get like a new item, you like add it to your bag. That's what it feels like to me. It kind of gamifies it. And so I'm actually not worried about like sustaining this organization system. Milanote is available for free with no time limit. So you can go ahead and click the description down below if you want to try it out. For now, I need to find a place to store whatever is going on there and reorganize what I do have. I feel awesome though. Like I actually feel like there's enough space under my bed for all this. It's kind of like when you have too much clothes. Like when you have a smaller selection, it's almost easier for you to choose from it and be creative. Because when you have too much, it's just kind of overwhelming. And the sun has quite literally set, even though it's 4:30 p.m. That's depressing. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Milanote for sponsoring this video. That's it, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye guys!
You left the kitchen light on and it's 2 to go to 6. It's